Nicole. Want to welcome you this morning. So, um, if you don't know who I am, do know that I am Coach Carla Nicole, and I am here to make your life so much easier if you just pay attention to what I'm telling you. This is a part of my loyalty series that I've developed on Patreon. And if you haven't signed up for my Patreon yet, it is in the comments so that you can join Patreon so you can see what I don't say today, but on this podcast. But I do want you to know that there will be much more deeper content where I'm giving a lot more on Patreon. But here I'm just going to give you some vital information that will really help you to understand the power of protection from a woman. Okay, so the title of this video is called How to Protect His Inner Peace. So, if we are understanding the power of a woman, we will actually learn a lot about what it takes to be in a relationship, a solid relationship, with a woman that cares about you. But outside of caring about you, one thing that many men, I believe, are just unaware of is that actually women have a protective side to them. And if they don't, they should have one that is developed. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're honest and open with understanding the power of the protection from a woman. Here's what's true. If you haven't watched my other videos on protection from women, let me fill you in on the 5 ways that a woman can protect you, okay? So if you don't know these by heart by now, you need to start writing them down and branding them in your mind, gentlemen. This is very important. The number one way a woman can protect you is she should be able to protect your reputation. Number two, she should be able to protect your peace. Number three, she should be able to protect your purpose. Number four, she should be able to protect your finances. And number five, she definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, should be able to protect your sexual urges. So those are the five, okay, 5 key, most important ways a woman can protect you. And please be sure to understand that if you have a woman that is not protective in those areas, there are certain things that we can do to help to encourage her, or if you need to reconsider or get someone else, we can talk about that too. But at the end of the day, women need to have these attributes because when you're choosing better for your relationship in your life, you want to make sure that you're choosing with an awareness of what it is you need from a woman. Most men are not taught this, so they are unaware of this. It is vitally important that you pay attention to what I'm telling you. So I have went over recently about how important it is for a man to have a woman protect his reputation. Now, I went over that because I think it's very important that his name, his reputation, his honor, his legacy should be held to a high regard from the main woman or women in his life. If she doesn't have a high regard for your reputation, then you're a little bit at risk for threats to come upon you that you may not know that are there. So I did go over that. If you haven't watched that video, please go back and watch it because that was a very, very, very important video for men to understand the power of understanding a woman protecting your reputation. But today I want to talk about how does a woman protect your inner peace? Now, there's several different peace strategies that I'm going to go through for you to understand this. But today we're just going to talk about your inner peace. Now, here's what's true. I don't know if you men understand the power that a woman holds when she cares about you being in peace in your soul, in your spirit, in your heart. If you have a woman that doesn't really give a care about that, that's not good. But outside of caring about it, you want to make sure a woman is protecting your inner peace. Here's what's true. I know for a fact that, men, you have a lot of burdens that you have to think about. Number one, a lot of things you have to be concerned with, that maybe you haven't addressed before you got involved in a relationship. So let's just say you don't do too well with the way you're treated by your mom, or the way you're treated by women in your life, period. It doesn't have to necessarily be your mom. It could be your boss at work. It could be a woman in your life, your aunt, your grandmother, whatever. You have a hard time with really, truly knowing how to decipher proper treatment. And so when you're mistreated by women in your life, it could be, like I said, it could be a female at work, it could be, your sister, it could be your mom, it could be any woman in your life or any person in your life that really doesn't hold a true value for your care, if you will. You will notice that it's dangerous. Let me say that first. And when you have a man, ladies, if you have a gentleman in your life and he does not hold um, a real understanding of good treatment, then as a woman in his life, you have to be mindful of holding some reverence over, is he peaceful or not? We can't be in the dark with a man's mental health that we're in love with. His mental health is very important. And let me just fill you in. Men that commit suicide or don't or unliven themselves oftentimes has a woman in their life that did not check in. She didn't know that he was dealing with some turmoil, some emotional trauma that he hasn't coped with or dealt with. And so it's vitally important, ladies, that you are protective of your man's inner peace, the peace inside of him. Check in. Men, you need to know that you have a woman that's wanting to check in on you. What I mean by checking in is just checking in to see how you are emotionally. Now, I understand that men, you don't really talk too much about emotion, and I get it. However, frustration is very easy to talk about for men because frustration is a part of emotion that most of the time men don't realize. They just say they're angry about something, frustrated about something, stressed out about something, but that something that I'm talking about is that something that I'm talking about is in fact emotional turmoil. So, as a woman in your life, you want to make sure that that is something you are paying attention to. Your honey, your babe, your man in your life, you want to make sure that he has an emotional stability that you can pretty much keep an eye on. Now, here's what's true. Probably before you, he had a lot of things he dealt with that you didn't know. I'm talking about maybe in his family. So familial bonds and bio loyalty, is very, very stressful in a man's life. And a lot of times he doesn't talk about it, especially if it's someone very close, like his mother, his sister, his family members, his stepdad, his dad, whatever. A lot of times they don't talk about this. And there's really no way that you know. So it would serve you well, gentlemen, to be very open and honest with your lady so she can help to pay attention and also come up with a way to curtail or buff or set up boundaries for you so you're not constantly in a mental anguish about something. Here's what's true. Your woman in your life is supposed to be protective, not just of you, with your reputation and your sexual urges and your finances and stuff, but she needs to be protective of your inner peace. And that doesn't come easy because sometimes you don't convey that you're having some issues with what's going on in your family. And so, how is she supposed to protect that? She doesn't know anything about it because you're not saying anything. So, if you want a woman, if you want to even see if a woman is protective of you, start advising and explaining and expressing to her that you are feeling a way about some actions or some treatment that you're receiving from your lady. Because what's true is this. A lot of times, your woman doesn't know unless you tell her. Here's what's true. Once you let your lady know that, look, my sister and I don't get along. We don't see eye to eye. And so, we can just say an ailing parent, mom is getting sick and there's certain things that I want to see done for her, but you don't. And we're in constant combative arguments over this. And I'm really frustrated because you're stressing me out. So now his stress is really impacting your relationship because he's easily angered at home. Not only just easily angered, he's very, very aloof, or he doesn't want to talk, or you're seeing him kind of getting a little more submersive in drinking, or he's just not wanting to even make love anymore. He's becoming a different version of himself. And rather than shrugging it off, ask some questions. What's going on? Like, you're not really yourself. What's going on with you? And he may not say it at first, but say, I'm just asking because I want to know if I can in any way help you. Like, I don't want to see you in this discontent. I want to see you happy. So what is it that you need from me? What's going on? And when that man tells you, well, here's what's up. So, with mom being sick, sis wants her to go to this facility. I don't trust them. I don't like them, but she's insisted upon taking her there anyway. And it's really frustrating me. And I'm really at the point and at the brink where I'm just going to give up because I feel like she's taking over. Sometimes in those scenarios or circumstances, you have to be the buffer. I tell you what, don't worry about it. Let me go out to eat with your sister and let me come up with a way to where we can come up with a resolution because you're in too close. And since you're in too close with this scenario, let me be the one that can maybe be the equilibrium in this madness because you're not going to get anywhere as long as you two are constantly arguing back and forth and it's stressing you out. It's not necessary. Let me help you. Once you see that she cares about the fact that, this is really stressing you out, you'll notice that she'll start to curtail a lot of stuff. And you'll start to realize, man, I got a good one with me. I have a woman that cares about how I'm really thinking and feeling and what's going on in my immediate family. It's not just about her. She now cares about what we need to do to get you in a better headspace. Because if you are my lover and I care about you, but you're in a difficult place because of your sister not wanting to do what you want to do for mom, then let me help you. Let me come up with a plan. Here's one example of how you yourself as a woman can help your man with his inner peace. And gentlemen, here's a way that you can see she is an asset to your life because she really values your inner peace. You will be in less frustration when you start to realize, oh my God, I have somebody that's caring about what I psychologically am dealing with. Yes. And so when you have someone that cares about it, it makes it easier for you to be in that relationship. Here's something else that you want to think about. Sometimes you end up finding yourself stressed because you're not getting enough rest. When you're not resting well, that means that you have all kinds of different things that go wrong. You get brain fog, you get forgetful, You can find yourself in all these different scenarios where you're just not optimal. You're not as sharp as you usually are because you're not resting. This is also a part of inner peace. When you're not resting well, then that's something that you need to also be paid attention to by your lady. She needs to be like, you need to allow me to rub you down, get some rest, and just relax. I don't want you to do anything today at home. I want you to eat dinner, and after dinner, we're going to shut off all TV, all sensory. We're going to turn it off, and we're going to look out for you. We're going to make sure that you get the proper rest you need. Why is this important? Well, again, when I tell you guys about how important it is to be very, very aware of your man's wellness, how his inner peace is huge. Because he can't, if I'm honest with you, he can't really be as, I would say, effective as a lover to you when he's holding so much hurt, pain, anguish, turmoil, restlessness. He can't be as optimal to you. And so you're feeling like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Well, you're not, because your man is not where he needs to be. You, my love, can really help him by paying attention and being aware of what's going on in his heart and in his mind. And if he is not really optimal where he should be, this is when you can sit back and say, okay, let me come up with a plan to help you to get in a better state. Women that are protective of your inner peace are going to figure out ways creatively and ways to try to make sure that she's helping you to improve your rest. She's going to help to improve your time where you're not constantly stressed out about something, because the stress alone is not good. So a woman that is protective of your peace, she's going to go after anything that is in the way of it. What I mean is, even the woman that notices that your family are a nuisance to you, she's going to shut it down. And it may feel awkward at first. You may take it personal. You may feel away because she's telling people, no, you can't just pop over here. You can't just call his phone just whenever you want. He needs his time and his space. This is actually going to help you to be more okay with your woman actually taking the actual reins and making things happen, so that you're not feeling so bombarded with hurt, trauma. And then here's the other part of the true way to help him with his inner peace. I'm not saying that you want to just rehash all the old memories or rehash old stuff or whatever. I'm not saying that you want to rehash all of his bad stuff. But you do want to kind of tap in and ask him like where he was when he was young, and just start to take a journey with him. Sometimes in the journey that you take with him mentally, it actually helps you to get aware of certain things that he is temperamental with in the now and in the present. We don't realize how much the past impacts what we have going on right now. And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't realize the impact of the past because we spend a lot of time just focusing on what's going on right now and what we got to do tonight and all of that. But we don't really think about how much is my past really impacting what I need to get done today? How is this impacting my peace? Here's what's true. A man also needs time to be alone. That's a part of his peace as well. And what I mean by that is sometimes we as women want their time and we want attention and we want to know we matter. So we become too much so often that he can't have his own space. He can't have his own privacy. And when a man can't have his own space and he can't have his own privacy, what happens is he gets very agitated and begins to get frustrated with even being in a relationship with you. So it would serve you well to realize maybe he needs some time. Maybe he needs some time to just do something that he enjoys doing by himself. Let me give him that. Let me encourage it. Rather than always being the deterrent of him spending time alone because we want attention, maybe we should just be like, hey, you know what you haven't done in a while? Go and see your friends. Go over there and hang out, or do something. You haven't done any paintings in a while. I know how much you love to paint, and you haven't gone down in your art gallery and haven't painted a thing. Why don't you go down there and paint? Touch back into your creativeness, because right now you're not doing it. This is another way to help him tap back into his inner peace. Because if we are women and we really truly love a man, we have to sit back and look at, well, what brings him the most joy outside of being with me? Of course, we think it's all about us. But what brings him peace for real? Does he like jazz sessions? Does he like to go and just go and listen to some jazz? I mean, does he enjoy maybe going to the golf course and just, does he like to go to the casino? What does he like to do outside of you? And encourage it. Tell him, do please go and have a good time. And don't be all in the space. Don't call and talk and text at him all the whole time he's there. Be out of the way so that a man could get to his inner peace. It really serves a man well when you give him his space. That's also a part of inner peace. Men need space. Okay? So what I mean by that is they need to be their individual self without you all in the space, without your demands of wanting attention and you wanting this, you wanting that. Are we going here? We're going there. Are we doing this? Are we doing that? They need their space. Because when a man has his space and he has his time where he can be all man, he doesn't have to, be your man or be your husband or be your boo, whatever. He could just be himself for a change. Give him space. Let that man go and have some fun. This is one of the main ways women can give a man his inner peace and not feel a way about it. A lot of times women are so overly consumed with wanting attention that they lose sight that this man has his own time to himself, that he just wants to be alone. No, and don't take it so personal. It's just a part of him. It serves you better to let that be so that he can tap into his creative side. Some men like to write poetry, some men like to write blogs, some men like to do podcasts, some men like to go and do different things. But if you have a woman that is always asking of your time, he can't really be himself because he feels bombarded with you wanting the demands of being in his face all day. And it's just not healthy for him. Men want to have their own space, and they definitely want to have time to themselves so they can think. Here's why it's also very important. Sometimes we have to allow them to miss our energy. Give them time to want to miss us. The problem that we seem to have is if we're not in his space, we seem to think as women that we're forgotten. But actually, if you give him time away from you, it gives him time to reflect on what you are to him in a whole different level. And now, guess what that does? That actually helps to build the intimacy, because in your time apart, you now have something to talk about. He doesn't have to assume anything about you. He can now question, well, how did you enjoy your time when you had when I wasn't in your space? What were you doing? How did it go? What did you learn about yourself? And this actually opens up the dialogue of, hey babe, I'm really glad we're together. And here's what I learned. I'm really in gratitude for you being in my life. And that comes when you're not there, because now he has time to reflect. A man loves reflection when it comes to inner peace. Time of reflection is very important to a man's inner peace. It helps him to see, do I like what I see in my life? And if I do, then how do I keep watering the plant? Or if I see some things I don't like, how do I change them and convert them into something better? All of this has to take place, but it can't take place if you're so much into his space he can't breathe. Allow a man his space. Allow him time to miss you. Men, when a woman gives you your space and she's out of the way, she's a protective woman. Not only is she protective, she also is very purposeful. I mentioned in the other videos how important it is to have a purposeful woman. When a woman has her purpose and she knows why she's here on the planet, a lot of times you won't have to be her everything. And if a woman is not fatherless, she understands the man's mind also. And what I mean by she's not fatherless is I mean that she had a man that was very involved as a father in her life. And because of that, she knows exactly what it takes, how men think, what men need. And so because of that, that actually helps you to a different degree, because now you're able to see, oh, my woman actually, my lover actually understands how men think, how men focus, how men see things. Problem is, a lot of people don't understand this. So it's important that you sit down and realize, okay, here's where I'm at with a relationship. If I'm in a relationship and my lover really truly cares about me, she's going to want to learn what it is that I am to her. And in order to do that, she's going to actually turn around and realize these are things that we have. This is what we need to do and hold in high regard while we're here in relationship with each other. Problem is, there's too much going on that no one ever really sits us down to explain the power of a woman being protective. She's protective of your peace because she cares about you. She's protective of you having emotional comfort, emotional calmness. You have a calm mindset. You have a peaceful demeanor. That is joy in a man's life. But most women don't know what men really truly like because their source of understanding men are women. So they don't know this stuff. So men, I'm helping you. If you don't know yourself, this is why you feel so stressed out, even in a relationship. You feel stressed out or you feel like you can't be yourself. Well, that's because number one, you're not having enough time to reflect. You don't have enough time to yourself. You're definitely not able to sit down and just really, truly be yourself. And these are problems that we don't really talk about, but these are ways that women can truly, honestly be your guide and really your protector over your inner peace. It's not easy to be, but once she realizes that you have some things that were either traumatic or, a challenge for you, she'll start to realize, well, if I can really change his frustration, then I think I can actually help him to be better than what he was before. It just takes me to sit back and be like, well, wait a minute. Let me evaluate this. And is he really willing to tell me what's really truly going on? Because sometimes they don't want to tell you because they're not really sure of how to express it. Not all men can communicate well. So they don't know how to tell you, hey, I'm really hurt. Hey, I'm really bothered. Hey, I'm really feeling a way how mom treats me. Hey, I don't really like the way that, our sister treats our kids. Or whatever's going on in his heart. He may not be able to convey it to him. But pay attention, women, to a man's body language. His expression of his body language also can show you a lot as well about his inner peace. If he's doing this, if he's constantly like making certain physical gestures that you know is showing he's aggravated or agitated by something, start asking questions. Ask him, what's going on? Why are you? Well, I'm noticing that you're really frustrated. What's going on? Pay attention. Understand, the more aware you are as a woman, the more optimal you'll be with making sure your man he has a great inner peace. When he has that, he'll be a better lover to you. He'll be more apt to sharing his self, his wholeness, his excitement, because he won't be bombarded with stress, hurt, unresolved trauma. All of that stuff will be eliminated because he'll be actually concerned less about that and more excited about coming home. You're going to find that your man, if he's always aggravated or arguing about something or frustrated about something, that stuff will start to fade away when you get involved to coming up with plans to resolve those things. And then having a high regard for understanding, what does it take to make you feel better? Men will tell you if you ask them. What's going on here? Like, what is all of this? What's all this madness you got going on? Well, why are we here? And then you'll see that a man is going to be like, man, I'm this and this and this and this is going on and I'm really mad and da 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 da. And once you sift through the anger, you start to realize, oh, this is something we can fix or take it over. You don't have to be bombarded with this. Let me handle it. Let me go over and talk to your mom. Let me see if I can figure out a way to fix this for you. Maybe we can come up with a plan that you don't have to deal with this on anymore. How about that? Let's come up with a plan. And once he sees that you buffer and help and eliminate a lot of stuff that he no longer has to focus on, he can get back to what he wants to do. What he's building, what he's creating, what his vision is, what his purpose is. He can get back to his legacy. He can get back to all of that because he's not having to be distracted by madness and unnecessary headache because of you. And see, now, because what I'm showing you ladies and what I'm showing you gentlemen about the power of a woman that cares and is incentivizing ways to improve his inner peace, just in these understandings alone, this will help to really build a new, solid, more vivacious relationship. Trust me. Go to my Patreon. If you're really trying to figure this stuff out, men, go to my Patreon. I have a whole series for men called Loyalty, Loyal TEA for men. And there's audios on there, there's writings, there's videos where I am explaining how important it is that you choose well with your woman. But if you're not in the choosing state, you have a woman in your life, there's ways to improve the relationship with your lady. It's just a means of taking the time to jump on Patreon and learn about how to improve your relationship. It's not easy. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some devotion, but it can get done. You just have to be committed to listening and following through and making changes. It doesn't happen overnight, but you can start to see some changes. I will have the link in the comments, so just stay tuned for that. But it is my Patreon. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Coaching matters, and it does. You have to make sure that you are getting coached out here in this out here in the world. Trying to figure things out without help is never easy. I'm going to provide you with coaching strategies that you can use today. Everything I told you right here, you can use it today. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait till next week. You can listen to this all over again, watch it again, and pay attention to what I'm telling you and start strategizing and changing it. It's that simple. I'm gifting this for free. So you can learn all of this and take it and truly change and transform your love affair right now. You don't have to wait. But for those that really want to invest in really making sure that they're doing everything and changing everything and really getting into the grind of really seeking to get things and have things to be better, then you need to go over to Patreon and really sign up, really go in. I have a whole series for men called Loyalty. I have a series for learning how to love yourself better called The Power of You. There's plenty over there that you can learn from me. I'm just saying. I'm so glad you were here with me this beautiful morning. But again, I'm just trying to gift you guys with something that you can use and understand. It's not easy in these relationships. but we can do it better. We can come up with a better plan. We can learn how to improve how we're interacting and relating. We can do it better. It just requires us to just do some changing and really coming up with ways to improve how we relate to each other. Firstly, we have to listen to what I'm telling you. Women, learn about protection. You have to give it. It's very important. I know we're taught that a man is a provider and a protector, but we're protectors too. And if we're really good at it, we're damn good at it. I'm telling you what, men will see the difference and will know exactly why you were chosen. Trust me. I'm out of here, guys. I'm telling you now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Coaching Matters. Share this video. Talk to your friends. Sit down and watch this again. Sit down with your friends, conversate about what I explained here so you can learn the power of protection, because a man's inner peace is going to really make a huge difference in what you're dealing with at home with your man. And you're going to see, man, I didn't realize all I had to do was make these subtle changes, and he really started to even treat himself better. He's treating the kids better. He's more just more alert, more around, more excited to be here. He's not always stressed, not always mad and, griping about something. It can happen. Watch this again. Make sure to share it. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. Listen, you guys, make sure to have a great day. I don't know my next one, but it's coming. It's going to be another video about protection. Now, also, I am going to do a audio on Patreon that's going to be exclusive for the paid members, that I'm going to tell some things that I didn't say on here. Stay tuned and make sure to become a member. But yeah, it's gonna be called What I Didn't Say for the Patreon members. All right, guys, I'm out of here. It's your coach, Carla Nicole.